sheer volume in this stadium is deafening.
It is chaos out there.
Absolutely packed to the brim. Everyone is here for the final send-off for the LPL in 2018 in what could be the last official game as Rogue Warriors, they found Haro.
Yeah, they went for a very cheeky route on that invade.
And Ray, but he's got to take a long route out of this. Doinby lands the first Twin Fangs, looking for some damage.
They're not going to take this one lying down. This might be a 3v3 as Rogue Warriors chase back to their own side.
But you have to mention the way they went for that play. They went through the tri-bush, they went on the top side of red buff as well, looking to perhaps catch someone out of the red.
They're going to do it again.
And they are going to come back. Now the question is, EDG, how do they respect this? How do they respond to this? Flawless at level 1 on Jarvan, loses a lot of health to red. There is a chance that EDG play the patient game, but that's such a big risk. The smite could be so big for snowballing.
Flawless is on the side, just outside of Haro's vision. Flawless walks up, the Demacian standard for some autos. And with no Dark Harvest, Haro can't really trade back.
And the big difference here was the fact that Doinby has locked down Scout. They are trying to isolate these junglers. I think Flawless...
Oh no.
Oh no.
So Scuttlecrab is up, that's guaranteed level 2, but it's also on vision. Now this dance continues. Haro's the one who disengages.
Give it away.
It's because of Doinby in that mid lane. Having mid priority is a very big deal. You can see the way that Flawless is playing this one. He's not doing the red buff. That's risky. He's taking the camps he can.
Yeah, and there's no rotation coming from the bot lane, so he could still have the opportunity to have traditional vertical jungling, but it's still a springboard start for Flawless, something that he hasn't gotten all series long.
We've seen Haro dictate the early game in all 3 of our previous matches, but finally Rogue Warriors put him forward.
And just look at the scoreboard. It's so much better for everyone in general. Doinby, the first time I've seen him without a CS deficit. You look towards bottom lane, SMLZ's got a slight advantage. Even if he's not winning the lane, he's not behind in the lane. Everything starts so much better for Rogue Warriors that now we get an opportunity to see how they play on much more equal footing.
And this is where we come back to our word of the day, execution. How these fights are going to play out as the game goes on, but still, that's a long time from now. Is Haro, he's actually pinging towards the mid lane to perhaps look back at Doinby for taking control of that early.
And while we're paying attention to these junglers, Haro moving back to his own jungle, but Flawless, very interesting pathing. He decided not to walk out in case there was any sort of vision, pulled the Dandy, and immediately hit his back. So Edward Gaming actually don't know where Jarvan is.
Yeah,
they can try to make some
the
assumptions.
most unexpected level 2 gank, though, if he does look towards that. He may consider Krugs, but that's a very long-winded camp to take. It does a bit of damage and you lose most of your mana.
I just think he should gank bottom. There's a chance that EDG think that he's going to be on the top side of the map since they just scouted the Raptor camp, not expecting him to be with the Alistar engaged.
One more looking for level 3, the flash knockup. Killua lands the snare, Mako's the target under the turret, Ignite activated, but Flawless giving chase. He's stunned and locked down. And Mako, he's trying to stall this out. Teleport going in. He actually gets the Devour, but SMLZ doesn't get first blood. It's Killua. Teleport's completed. They answer back, finding kill onto Flawless. Haro joins the fight as Killua goes down 2 for 1. Edward Gaming.
Okay, Haro comes in as well. 4 people from EDG, and they just managed to get there faster as a full team. It was so risky from Rogue Warriors to make the play. I respect that they go for it as well, but Mako survives for so long that it works out in EDG's hands.
And it's so huge that Ray was the benefactor by picking up those kills because it means he's not really going to lose anything. The wave crashes onto his tower. It's now a TP discrepancy or mismatch in between these timers, but because he has the kill gold as well as the assist gold, he's fine to let this wave go.
EDG responding quickly enough to cover their losses as Flawless finds the clever pathing down bottom.
Look at Kalua's purchase, though.
Yeah.
The man on a mission.
This is classic Killua. This is spring split, rotate around towards mid and set up Doinby Killua.
It's the Baolan Killua, someone who just appears in a random place you'd never expect because boots and mobility get you there so fast.
It's the fact that straight out of the gate, Rogue Warriors have planted their foot and said, no, we will not go quietly into the night. If we're going to go down, it's going to be in a flame of glory, and you are coming down with us. Mobility boots, level 1 invades, sneaky backs from the Jarvan.
And we have said this before, but anyone who isn't an EDG fan kind of wants Rogue Warriors to go to the international event, and there's multiple reasons for that. Rogue Warriors are a fun team to watch. This style is something they play against everyone. And EDG, with their track record in international events, just terrifies LPL fans. They don't want them to be there. EDG, they say no.
Just imagine, Rogue Warriors and play-ins.
It's pretty great. It's pretty fantastic. But just imagine EDG playing this well.
in play-ins. Scout.
I've seen that 4 years running now, and it never happens.
They've never been to play-ins before. This is the first time they would go as the 3rd seed and not auto-qualify for groups.
I'm still terrified at the prospect.
They can let me down in new ways.
Well, the dynasty might have changed as the crown passed hands over to RNG, but Edward Gaming still saying they deserve a seat at the table.
This is a lane gang from Haro at level 4. He's got Dark Harvest, so bonus damage is possible if he's just cleared a camp. But other than that, I feel like he's just here as a countermeasure with the way SMLZ and iBoy were playing.
Lua walks up. That's the headbutt. Delayed knock-up on the Pulverize. iBoy taking some damage. There's Haro as that's the plasma onto Killua. Devoured as he goes too far. He's got no flash and just dies in lane. Haro chases it down to SMLZ, but Flawless activates the Predator. He's chasing down onto Haro, who's got the flash. He can still escape, but Mako eats a big crit. Not enough, and he survives.
That was pretty much all Mako. Yeah, Haro did a lot of damage on the back half of that, but Mako played that so damn well.
Doinby actually coming towards bottom lane as well. Look at how far away they have to run. That will spot him even though it doesn't connect. Has got a small vision AoE around it, and they're just buying time, stopping recalls. It's still good from Rogue Warriors in the end with the damage they'll get, but EDG get the kills.
And look at iBoy's player cam. That boy is laughing and happy. This is him in his natural element, finding 3 assists. Cullen lane, he is ready, but Killua might be looking for Scout.
Yeah, the only silver lining for Rogue Warriors here is that iBoy is sitting 0-0-3 instead of 3-0-0. But hold on, maybe something.
Hex flash, Scout flashes under the turret. That is the flash burn.
Yeah, that's what Boots of Mobility can do for you on that Alistar with the Hex flash getting over the wall. So he's able to catch up, force the summoner spell, and Doinby now has got kill threat.
No, that was just a sick gank. That was a cool angle.
And now Rogue Warriors continue to maneuver their way around the map, denying vision, chasing Haro. Doinby unlocked with that pressure is 20 CS ahead of Scout's Rise. And is maneuvering around, which gets Flawless into the jungle, which keeps Mouse safe up top, which allows SMLZ to defend bottom, but that leaves him 1 versus 2 for the next few minutes as this red buff is being invaded by RW.
Yeah, and poor Jin doesn't have access to his ultimate, so he unfortunately just has to stand, wait, be patient, wait for Mama Cow to come back.
And I will say for those that are saying, why on earth does he have a Fairy Charm? The reason for this is because he started with a Doran's Blade and he wants to get the mana regeneration. You only lose 40 gold by selling this item back. So it is very gold efficient to purchase and sell it and just leave it as it is as a component during the point where you are laning and using spells more often than not.
And that constant sustain is something that he needs to keep control of the lane against iBoy and Mako, because when he doesn't have control, things like this happen.
And I will say, speaking towards his bottom lane, an extra thing that I've noticed is iBoy and SMLZ, look at their item slots. There's nothing. They have got so many small components put together that it's very hard for them to finish an item. And if you're building Stormrazor, those 2 longswords don't become a Caulfield Warhammer or a lethality item. You're sitting on that till Stormrazor is done.
Flawless is level 6 and steals away the blue buff. Killua with those Mobies are chasing Realm Warp from Scout, gets him back into lane as he has no mana and is denied.
I mean, basically, you cover up the scoreboard because you cannot tell that Rogue Warriors have been put down at all at any point in this game. And true, it has been Rogue Warriors really setting the tempo and the pace. Flawless, again, put on the right foot, springboarded into this game, allowing him to finally be the aggressor. And you can see what a difference it makes in Rogue Warriors. They are constantly looking to challenge EDG over every little thing.
All right, level 6.
Same exact gank path as last time. The wave once again pushes in. Mako lands the tongue lash.
They've got to know something's up here. Killua's level 5, so he may not consider the all-in just yet.
That's
but
another.
iBoy,
Killua still walks forward for it. iBoy taking
bang.
some hits. Here comes Haro. That's a lot of damage onto iBoy. The Sonic Wave, and Mako once again with the save.
And Clue is just young. The inexperience coming through didn't quite read the situation well enough. Like you were saying, Rusty, didn't have access to the ultimate, but went for the all-in anyway.
And that was a bait by iBoy. That was smart from the Kaiser. And you know SMLZ is not a vocal member. You barely see him make facial expressions, let alone speak. So there's no way for him to say, back away, Clue, respect it, be careful. Hurry, oh my
Flash.
God.
Whoa, SMLZ!
But you know who's also inexperienced? iBoy. Learn your place. SMLZ has been here since 2012.
Oh, don't reach, Youngblood.
Slapped him.
Oh, wow. Sends him back to base. Oh, boy.
SMLZ is just elated. You can see him on your
Ecstatic,
screen now.
really.
That's his happy face.
Hashtag calculated as Killua finally makes his way back in and communicates it back. Let's see if this is going to be a completed buy for SMLZ, because the only thing iBoy was able to get with all of those components was level 2 boots.
That's the thing. It still delays the big item spike. Those who get ahead in laning can afford to finish a Stormraiser first are so far ahead of their respective opponent who sits on items. Now, will he finish Stormraiser? The answer is yes. So he is now going to power spike, where iBoy, definitely relevant with the move speed. Having the Berserker Greaves is wonderful, especially for the passive, but he's sitting on what items he currently has for so long because he went Cull.
The thing is now Rogue Warriors need to identify that they have this massive window to play around on the bottom side. So get the Alistar, get the Jarvan, start throwing everything that you can into the bot lane and play around this huge spike for Jhin, because he's going to hit like a truck, which means that Doinby's responsibility is either join his team, or what I think more appropriately, make sure that Scout is locked down. So to set this up first and foremost, they need to get side vision for Doinby to keep Scout locked down and then start funneling Flawless into the back of this lane.
But that's towards EDG's strengths. They're still playing to this bottom lane. Killua caught by Haro at level 6. He's got the Dark Harvest. Killua tries to knock him back in as Flawless looks for the counter gank. Big auto attack. That fourth bullet's ready for SMLZ, but he's got no flash. Echo taking the hits. That's the Cataclysm to keep them in place. SMLZ still firing. A Scout joins the fight by teleporting, but Doinby walks it up. He's got to have people in front of him because Ray has gotten on top of him. There goes the curtain call. Haro, the last bullet dies to SMLZ.
It looks like they're just going to disengage now. They take the one and done here for Rogue Warriors. Good disengage from Flawless with the ult locking them in and flashing away. Mako really wanted to get the aggressive Devour onto the enemies, but instead he has to save iBoy, and Haro's left to the Wolves.
And you could tell that Edward Gaming were trying to set a trap. They knew that Rogue Warriors wanted to play around the bot side, so they tried to beat them to the punch, but didn't count for Killua to be into that brush.
Somehow, Mouse's teleport also got canceled in the duration of that play. As Ray was able to complete his own, I can only assume there was some sort of ultimate used to stall him out as Killua gets caught initially.
And Flawless is definitely in the area, well and truly in time. We'll keep our eyes peeled on how these teleports happen. You can see that Mouse was the first to move. It looks like he'll just cancel it himself, I would have to imagine, because they're both teleporting at the same time. Yeah, opts out of that one. Join me in the area. I'm shocked that he chose not to teleport.
It's the full cooldown of the teleport, Rusty, and Maokai has no ultimate. I believe Ray used Nature's Grasp at max range to catch Mouse at the last second and cancel the teleport at full duration.
The distance between those two on the minimap was ridiculous.
But now look at how Rogue Warriors are accelerating the game. They're putting pressure onto the mid lane with that SMLZ power spike. They found Mako. He's got no flash, but he's a big fourth bullet. Can the Grey Health keep him up? Doinby's on the chase. The poison ticking down, but Mako survives. Still walking back in as Haro and iBoy look to chase. Realm Warp from Scout sends Ray right into the back line. Mouse locking him in place as Scout tries to walk him forward, but now they've turned onto Ray. He's over the wall. Frozen Heart can soak the AD, but can it soak the AP? Killua with the knockup, but Mako saves. And Edward Gaming dancing with danger.
Tank meta with Tom Kinch as well as Alistar in the game, and everyone is still alive.
Just absolute chaos. Rogue Warriors are still the ones with the health advantages, though. iBoy going back to base right now. Ray with the teleport, the Realm Warp rather, from the Rise, loses a lot of his health and has to leave. So Rogue Warriors still come out on top, and it continues to happen just ever so slightly in their favor.
Inch by inch, Rogue Warriors get closer and closer to Game 5, to equalizing the series and bringing it down to that all-important match as the mid-tier 1 goes down. Doinby picks up blue buff. And Edward Gaming have to be having flashbacks to what happened yesterday, because it was the exact same way. They won games 2 and 3, but got turned around in games 1 and 4.
I was curious how patient SMLZ was going to be in that brush, and if he was going to catch out the Youngblood again in iBoy.
Of course, SMLZ is going for the fast build this time around. That is going to be a super speed Jhin once he hits those crits. Wait for the rapid fire cannon to be seen next. And that's when he's really going to start to pop off and find iBoy. Get that extra range as well. Once he hits 11, the ultimate really hurts. And there's not many tanks.
Still no Stormraisers for iBoy. He's even in CS, but at 0-1-4 to the 2-0-1 of SMLZ, he just cannot compete with that damage.
I mean, everything was going so well for Edward Gaming. The fact that the bot lane had really been turned on its head, Ray with an early teleport, but Flawless consistently finding EDG in that bot side, always there for the counter gank, always there to turn it around.
You want to talk about disrespect? I feel like that iBoy item build going for the cull is just a little bit. You can tell how much control Rogue Warriors are able to get, the extra damage output, having that Storm Razor and fighting as they do. You have to expect as EDG, Rogue Warriors will do this. You know, you have to expect they will take these fights. And congratulations, you've got 36 CS left to your cull's done, and you've only just now finished your Storm Razor.
That's after the mid-tier 1. That's going to be after the Rift Herald take by Rogue Warriors. It's 1,500 gold lead for RW. And
Did Doinby take it again?
He did.
Yeah.
It's the classic Rogue Warriors, yeah.
We're used to it.
Happens
We
every
should
time.
mention it, but we're so used to it. They only give it to Doinby.
But here's the trade. Mountain Dragon being taken by EDG for damage later if they can equalize the momentum with Rogue Warriors, but it's top tier 1 and the Rift Herald still in Doinby's pocket.
And Papa Smithy talks about this all the time. It's never going to be a fair trade because unless you're able to use the Mountain Dragon offensively, you're still looking at 2 towers because they have the Rift Herald in the back pocket. So huge win for Rogue Warriors, and they are firmly in control of this game.
The one caveat is that Doinby holds it, so where will it be used is quite limited compared to a jungler who can move around with that. Our only real ongoing theory is that Flawless wants to have the sweeper more aggressively for plays, and Doinby is his own man with control wards.
And that's what he just did by heading bottom. He did just use his sweeper on cooldown to try and scout out perhaps a rotation for Doinby to head down to the bottom lane, but they were spotted by a ward. And Mouse going to complete his own recall. So it looks like that's the play Rogue Warriors were trying to hunt down. Doesn't quite pay off. As we get to the 17-minute mark, next Dragon is Cloud. But currently, Rogue Warriors, they've already taken 2 turrets. They've got themselves Snowball on that SMLZ and Doinby.
And the most obvious answer is taking that last outer tower in the bottom side. I don't expect them to use the Rift Herald for this because they can have access to use it on an inner structure and get so much more.
Yep.
But if they find a pick on EDG, it's a very easy call to just stack everything in a single lane and hard push.
You saw, of course, that iBoy was visible on the top side of the map, which is why Rogue Warriors get control, at least in vision, down in this area. SMLZ walks from base to bottom, so they will just get it for free. No need for the Rift Herald, just as a result of lane assignments and proper movements from Rogue Warriors. EDG trying to maximize their farm onto their carries do run risks of being caught in mispositioned areas where Rogue Warriors get turrets.
And we have to look at how this is resulting in the lead for Rogue Warriors. Still 3 turrets to 0 now, and still the Rift Herald hasn't been dropped.
Now, there is an opportunity and good news for EDG fans that you're still looking at a very open map now with a Tom Kinch and a Ryze. So at this point, EDG can start playing a hit-and-run style of play, especially also with the Kaisa, and start looking at picking off this low-mobility Jhin and Cassiopeia if they're ever left alone.
And that's the Rift Herald in mid lane. 4 members of Rogue Warriors group up, and Teleport is ready for Mouse if they want to try to step it up. But SMLZ leads the charge. Haro is right there. Sonic Wave connects. He follows it through. Flash from SMLZ. The ward hop, and he gets Insect back in. SMLZ goes down. Meanwhile, it's a pick onto Ray. Tank for AD carry. Not sure if worth because the Rift Herald is still working down the turret.
Certainly not worth because Ray was able to hold onto his flash and SMLZ doesn't have his. It's going to be that much easier to find him again next time.
Yeah, just stepped up a little bit too far, SMLZ. On the weak side of the map is where he pushed it. Now Mouse wants to engage.
Looking for Mako, forces the flash, tries to curve the train, but caught. Manages to miss the knockup, but only just as Rogue Warriors still looking for the fight. 4 versus 4. Remember, no front line for EDG, no massive damage source in SMLZ.
I don't want the fight. Haro with no flash, no ultimate, doesn't want to follow that Sonic Wave. Resonating Strike would absolutely be his demise. And Rogue Warriors, they are fine. At the end of the day, they get the charge off, they trade the kills, but you are absolutely correct. That flash missing, Haro now sees a big mark above his head to go again.
And I know that SMLZ punished iBoy's own arrogance into the bot lane, but SMLZ also very guilty of doing that. Watch how, if they ever get an advantage and start sieging towers, how SMLZ will run forward and just aggressively attack structures, thinking that he's good enough to outplay the situation.
When you're playing against the best that the LPL have to offer, they will challenge that statement every time. Haro at 2-1-2 finds the Sonic Wave, and it's just miscommunication. Rogue Warriors look for Ray on the flank, but SMLZ, something was lost in the words in between.
Yeah, and all he needed to do, SMLZ, was be on the bottom side of the Rift Herald. There was no way to get Avenue onto him. That's the direction Flawless was moving. That's the direction all of Rogue Warriors were going to catch out Ray. This time around, he steps up just that little bit too far. His hubris gets the better of him, thinking he can get that auto off.
Now, a large wave is prepped top. Doinby is going to walk the wave up to the turret to finish off this mid-tier 2 as SMLZ looks to finally join up with his team. He's still sitting at 2 items, looking for that rapid fire cannon as iBoy tries to clear this wave out. And Scout catching a lot of CS up top, still racing towards that second item though.
This should actually just diffuse from here unless Rogue Warriors can find a pick, just because they don't have their waves positioned. They're waiting for EDG to step forward.
That's Predator from Flawless. The target's Mako. He's got no flash, locked inside of the pit. Flawless is forced to turn him back away. Miasma, but they can't get in range in time. Ray with the fake flank forces them out of position. Nature's Grasp
gonna
will
get
only
Scion.
catch Mouse. Can they have enough damage? He sets up the knockup. Looking for even more slows, but Scout's getting some damage. The snare is ready.
It's just not going to die. There's too much tankiness in front of EDG right now. They don't get the flank they're after. Ray was looking, but his ult was a little bit too slow, as it is a very slow ultimate to actually lock someone down.
But it could be a tempo shift here for EDGs. Now the waves have started to push back against Rogue Warriors, so they kind of have their pick of the litter about what they want to do with this window that they have. And it looks like it's going to be trying to clear out some of this vision. You can see the pings going down on Baron. Mako is slowly trying to creep his vision line that much farther into the river.
Make note of the fact here, of course, that because Cassiopeia doesn't need to purchase boots, she has got 2 full items done. And the Merc Treads are there for Scout, which is going to be handy, but with 2 items done and a blue buff on the board for Doinb, he will do some serious damage to objectives. With the Baron up and a blue buff on a Cassiopeia, you know, you don't look at a Jhin in a composition and say they're going to be a Baron comp, but you have to remember that that is always possible.
EDG absolutely respecting that side of the pit, respecting that side of the map. Now the next dragon is up in 10 seconds. If Rogue Warriors want to try to convert that control back into a neutral objective that could try to equalize those dragons just in case the game goes late and looks for an Elder, and more importantly gives more movement speed to SMLZ to maneuver around in these fights. But right now, EDG, they've used their window of opportunity to get back onto the map to look for vision around the Baron. Now they're pulling back and sacrificing control over this river.
And it's because they're just trying to get as many items stacked onto the carries as possible. They know that the real war is going to be fought and won over that Baron fight. The Cloud Dragon, it's chump change to them. They're going to give it away for free. But you're looking at iBoy's itemizations. You're looking at Scout's items. Until they hit 2-item power spike, EDG are just going to play red zone defense.
Yeah, they really do need those item spikes online to feel comfortable going for team fights. Rogue Warriors will be the ones who go forwards, try and make the plays themselves if possible. But you are seeing the pot shots thrown by EDG. If Haro hits the Q, maybe he finds a carry and the pick comes out first, that's the one thing that will still get EDG in the door regarding the team fights.
And that's Haro trying to maneuver around the vision of Rogue Warriors, but look at how relentless they've been with wards.
They're going to go for Scout if he keeps pushing, or the Baron.
He's stepping up right now, but Flawless clears out these wards. Mako still hovering nearby. He's got 1 ward charge left while iBoy holding on to that control ward. That's the Scout we were talking about.
But Flawless has to knock him up if he wants to cancel. It's so risky to do that, Flawless, because you need to cover distance with your flag drag.
And look at the ward behind them. They know that this isn't Doinb just trying to look for the 1v1. They know that this is a trap.
And it's really only been, I think, 3 key wards that Mako put earlier on when that tempo shift happened just about 5 minutes ago that have allowed EDG not to just funnel directly into that river trap that Rogue Warriors have set up.
Remember, as per the point before, if you see a Cassiopeia on the map, they're not doing Baron. You always have to think about where are they now, and it's usually
deep
looking
teleport.
for
Yeah, very deep TP flank onto the tier 2. The ward is even going to expire as Ray is trying to catch up. That's the Miasma very early. Who's going to protect SMLZ as Ray is behind him? Doinby's there as well. That's the Nature's Grasp. Killa gets in front of Ray, face plants to the wall. He's still diving into the back line. iBoy has found SMLZ, and he manages to get the kill. Meanwhile, Scout trying to do some damage. He's saved out by Mako. Doinby gets chucked back in. Flawless doesn't have enough follow-up. Doinby running for his life, but the Realm Morph from Scout looks to chase as Mako locks down the kill. The 2 carries of Rogue Warriors have fallen, and EDG right in front of the pit. Abyssal Voyage to chase it down. They're looking for Killua, they're looking for Mouse, and they will find them. Big knockup stalls it away, but there's nothing stopping them from diving this turret. Scout gets another kill. Mouse running for his life, and Edward Gaming have just swung this game back.
But look where Flawless is. While all of this was happening, he made his way through the Baron. He checked where the vision was. He has the control wards, and he himself is standing on a control ward. He knows, last chance, feet to the fire, I must steal this.
1v5, the health bars are low from EDG, but that's not what Flawless has his eyes set on. He doesn't know what the health is of the Baron, though. He has to guess, he has to do maths. He knows the 3k now.
Oh, he needs to stand in the bush because Mako
1500 goes in, but it's too late. Baron picked up by Edward Gaming. Match point. They find the fight. They take the momentum, and they are in control of this game now.
It was ultimately the defensive vision that was their undoing. That deep teleport from Ray and a massive Maokai ultimate. Look where Sion is completely split up from his team.
And the ultimate hits SMLZ, it hits Doinby, and even if the stun connects onto Scout, Iboy finds his way into the back line, and they are just able to tear through the ranks of Rogue Warriors. With all of the carries dead and just the tanks left standing, that's the fight completely over. They need to protect the Jhin. They need the Cassiopeia standing in front of the Jhin. These flanks are winning the game.
And all of that momentum, all of that early lane control that Rogue Warriors had, that dominance throughout that mid game, gets reset. Edward Gaming, they've got 2 items on the Kai'Sa. They've got Spellbinders on Rise. They've got 2 items on Ray. They are ready to push it back and take an advantage themselves.
They've got their invitation. They've RSVP'd. This could be the close for Edward Gaming. This could be the last wind behind them.
Remember, they always go down swinging. You can see the posturing from Mouse out of vision. There is no way Rogue Warriors go down without fighting. And EDG with a Baron will not stop them from taking the engage.
I just feel like those last few kills have put Edward Gaming back on even footing in terms of itemization. You look at Scout, he's now got massive burst damage with that Spellbinders. You've got the 2 now coming on 3 items complete for the Kai'Sa, so she's unlocking so much more of her power. EDG are no longer in a weak position that they once were.
It came back to our magic word for that broadcast, execution. For that last fight, it was a simple lapse in vision and Mouse not standing in the back to protect those carries that allowed EDG to take that fight. 2 mistakes was all it took for EDG to open things up. But now 27 minutes into the game, there are still 100 seconds on this Baron. The mid-tier 1 looks to be the next target as Ray has already prepped top. That's Hex Flash. Killua looking for Iboy and Mako as they just walk it back, not taking any chances, standing close to the walls with no vision.
It is a cute combo with the Miasma as well, though. Can't get themselves out. No disengage with dashes available when you're grounded.
Scout has to be so careful. There's no vision on top of him right now. That's completely controlled by 2 control wards, and he's basically relying that he can outplay with the Realm Warp.
So the Scrying Orb used as well. Something that either scares him away or baits him into stepping up, thinking that they're not coming. Rogue Warriors were looking to defend the mid lane outer before anything else. They know that Rise will not be able to 1v1 Mouse. That's a lot of magic resistance rushed by the Scion as well.
A minute left on this Baron buff as Edward Gaming not looking for any split pushes outside of Scout because they know if anyone gets caught, it's very easy for Rogue Warriors to swing the momentum back in their favor. The wave is going to crash and finish off another tier 2 while Scout continues to work bottom.
And it's because they also know that with that Baron, they're just going to naturally get these structures. So onus on Rogue Warriors, but you have to think they're crazy. So look at Mako. He cannot stand near any of his carries. He needs to be ready that when Kahlua goes in, when Jarvan stacks on top of him, that he can very quickly reposition Edward Gaming to safety.
That's the charge. Scout takes the Realm Warp, but can't follow through with it, sending only a minion as Doinby follows up. That means mid is undefended, and finally EDG's push pays off as SMLZ catches the top wave. Still 10 seconds on the buff, but mid, top, and bottom tier 1s have fallen. Nature's Grasp to keep Doinby off the turret as they're looking for it. Doinby split from his team. Iboy doesn't take the killer instinct to look for a 1v1 outplay.
You see Jhin still visible on the top side of the map, so they know they can try and force Doinby back. And they know at the end, Scout had already chunked down that bottom lane turret. So all of this, keeping presence on the map, keeping Rogue Warriors honest, knowing where they are, preventing them from making plays.
And that's 4 turrets over the duration of that Baron, which puts Edward Gaming happily in the lead in gold. Suddenly all of the power spikes that Rogue Warriors had are neutralized as Edward Gaming find a second Mountain Dragon.
And now with a double mountain, it means that there's a new way to play the game. They can continue to play these side lanes with the Tahm Kench, with the Rise. Yeah, the Scion's not going to fall down, but the structures eventually will. But can they outmaneuver the aggressive initiation from Rogue Warriors? We'll say it again, it's about execution. Everything is on a knife's edge. Anything can go sideways for either team.
Sometimes it doesn't matter how good your vision is when a Scion presses his ultimate down the lane and just charges your face off.
Can EDG keep their carries alive in these fights, or will Rogue Warriors dogpile, find the kills that they so desperately need to bring it to a Game 5? It's a match point with the final Worlds ticket on the line. And this game is as tense as it could get. Now we're looking at how Vision is set up around the map. It looks like Edward Gaming are still sticking to a 1-4 split push by keeping Scout in a side lane, and Ray very close to these carries.
Everything does slow down. You'd be waiting for the next Baron in 1 minute and 50 seconds from now. There are still item spikes for the side of Rogue Warriors, and the gold difference at 30 minutes being 3,000, basically negligible at this point in the game. It does come down to the execution one more time. It comes down to the vision, the decision-making, the small details.
Haro and Scout are on the prowl. But what a long journey it has been for Rogue Warriors. A year's worth of progress now on the line in one game. Mouse became a pro player with Edward Gaming. He was starting support in 2015 before Mako for 2 weeks, but did not find the immediate success that Mako did. And you have to wonder how things would be different if he actually had started off a little bit better.
I mean, that's the whole of Rogue Warriors. We call them the revenge team because they all came from massive, well-established organizations, save for Kahlua. And they now need to make it count and say, we left our orgs for a reason. It was actually worth the chase to create this quote-unquote super team and show up when it counts.
Can the super team prove that it was all worth it? Or will it be Edward Gaming who once again stand tall and claim a world seed? They've been to every single Worlds that they had since their existence, since 2014, 15, 16, and 17. But never as a third seed.
I can't imagine how bitter it would taste for Mouse to lose out on Worlds to his old team.
How good it would feel to beat them and make Worlds at that. So it's always going to be that gambit on the line.
We've got to talk about how that's going to happen. Doinby in the mid lane on this Cassiopeia at 1, 1, and 0. He's at 3 items, 4 now with the Void Staff. Can he complete his road home for the final stop on the Revenge Tour?
For me, it's about different trust falls. So Doinby, yes, he's on the Cassiopeia, but this pick was made to enable this man on your screen right now, the Chinese sniper in SMLZ. And Rogue Warriors have said again and again in interviews that they will trust fall to SMLZ, that they are fine to go to late game team fights because they believe they have the best team fighting ADC in the LPL. Whereas on EDG, I don't think they trust fall iBoy. He's a weapon, but he's not the star.
On Ray.
Ray's getting right into this. Killa's in the front, Flawless looking for a flank, but now it's a front to back. The snare misses, but Mako with the save. They could still look to chase this as Mouse is in the front. The Nature's Grasp.
Haro gets SMLZ into the back line. He is dead. Scout walks it down. It's all up to Doinby. iBoy goes in to look for the kill. He cannot get it. The save. Doinby's still alive, but finally dies to Scout. Scout is firing across his Edward Gaming. They're throwing it all on the line in this fight, but Killua is forced to turn and run. A double kill as Mouse falls, and Edward Gaming finish off their former teammate in Mouse to turn onto the tier 2.
And Edward Gaming on the back of their rookie jungler Haro finds the kick, finds the carry, and might just find enough for EDG, an inhibitor at the very least.
It's 18 seconds with SMLZ. That would be the only thing next to Kahlua that could stop them. Like you're saying, inhibitor at least. We'll see if they push through or fall to Baron.
Still sitting on the inhib, they finish it off, and now there are pings towards that Baron. Rogue Warriors get a second lease on life, but only because it's so early. And look at
Haro.
this.
Haro finds the mark. Sion unfortunately misses the ultimate completely, and you'll see him pick his battle. He knows Cassiopeia ultimate gone. Mouse is on. Flash hits the mark, even knocks up the Sion on the backside. Paints a very pretty portrait with the dead body of SMLZ, and iBoy, he knows because they've got the carry advantage whilst he sacrifices himself very aggressively. Scout is freely hitting this entire time, and he is a big unit to deal with.
And we praise SMLZ's team fighting all the time. The stats don't lie. He has been such a signature part of Rogue Warriors and why they took first in their conference over Edward Gaming. But Haro now making his legacy known. He's taking over for Clearlove. He's making clutch plays when it counts.
34 minutes in, Edward Gaming with their second Baron buff, 7,000 gold ahead, 4 items on Rise, 3.5 on iBoy. They are massive. The middle inhibitor is down, and now there are just 2 turrets standing between Edward Gaming and Worlds. But they need to deal with Rogue Warriors first. This team will not go out without a fight. They are ready to take it to the limit. As 35 minutes in, the waves are prepped. Everything is ready.
It's important to state that it is definitely not over yet. EDG with the Baron have got the onus. They have got the control for quite some time. See, 2 minutes, 25 seconds. But with only the middle inhibitor gone, it's the next steps that are so hard for them to do because they have to go towards Rogue Warriors. And doing that, when they can confine themselves under turrets within their base, you're walking into a Cassiopeia gym.
But look at that, the Elder Dragon has spawned at almost 35 minutes exactly. Edward Gaming are shredding through with the double mountain. Flawless sees this. Level 14 to Haro 16.
Is he going to go over the wall? No, he does not. Elder Dragon and Baron for Edward Gaming.
No.
The Void Seeker hits SMLZ. Look at the burn from that damage alone.
Oh, that was too close for comfort for the Maokai ultimate as well. The fact that Ray is constantly finding these flanks.
Damage is significant. He has to play perfectly, SMLZ. Tahm Kench coming in as well. Ray has got teleport if he goes back to base. They can throw him in with the Rise, but with no ultimate, the flank's not as strong yet. Rogue Warriors might have bought enough time, but they lost the Elder.
And Kahlua wants to make the flank here.
He's caught out on the side. Ray is in the front. They still see
Here he
Scout on the
comes.
other side. That's the teleport to get in. Killua pops the ultimate early. He's looking for Haro, but Ibo's still doing damage. They're diving in. SMLZ in the back firing. Ray looking to get in there, but Scout is caught down. They've set the front line. They are holding it for now. Mako walks it back. Flash from SMLZ to get into the back line, but Killua falls. And Edward Gaming are still running it down. The Nature's Grasp on cooldown to find Mouse. 2 members of Rogue Warriors are dead. The
Rise
Round Warp
ultimate
onto
in.
the mid lane. They're chasing it down. Edward Gaming. The dynasty might be broken. They may have had to pass over the crowd, but that's not going to stop them from taking worlds because this team has to be respected. Edward Gaming, always and forever, one of the best of the LPL.
And credit to Scout. When he came in, he knew the Pulverize was coming. As soon as he exited the Realm Warp, he went immediately into the stopwatch, dodged the CC, and then turned on the gas.
The difference is so